Good evening, guys. Welcome to Apex Racing TV. This is the BSR IMSA Grand Tour. We are at Monza today. We've got a bunch of races, and I tell you what, this is going to be fantastic. Just Alex Simpson here at the moment for you. There's been a slight overlap with our previous race that we are broadcasting, but Sam Fitzpatrick and Andrew Woodhouse will be here in the booth for the last few races of the evening. So yeah, I'm very sorry. You're just gonna have to put up with me. So get your thumbs downs in now while you can. It's all good. Yeah, GT3s around Monza even. Getting my Italian tracks mixed up here. And we look like we've got 19 drivers for this one. And yeah, based on sort of what went down in the VRS sort of GT3 World Championship race at the weekend as well on Saturday, this looks like it's going to be quite a good race. You would probably put the favourites in those drivers that are perhaps in the if we got any in the McLarens, maybe the Mercedes look very strong around here as well. Ferrari's also very good once they get up to speed. So Audi seem to be just a little bit off around here compared to where they have been in recent weeks as well. So yeah, it should be interesting. I'm certainly looking forward to seeing how this one's going to unravel. Of course, I missed the start of the Grand Tour sort of series when we had the three separate splits. Classes, with the LMP1s and the GTEs. I have to say, I'm really gutted. I'd love to have seen some LMP1s cruising around here as well. So definitely the feedback I'm getting from the Academy is that very tricky car. Not necessarily to drive, but to race, because the energy management is so severe with that car. So yeah, I'm not surprised to see us kicking around in the GT3s. This should be a good close to the season, though. Let me just take a quick look at point situation as it is at the moment. So again, just focus on what's left. So GT3 drivers, Luke Clark leads the way, 203 points, and then we're looking at Richard Warmingham in second place, 156 points. Then it's Kip Stevens, followed by, I believe that's Max Wright. And then we've got Joe Flanagan, Adam Broughton-Grant's in there, and Benoit Smith as well. And then there's a few other drivers as well, Watson in there as well. So I don't know, maybe it's one of the drivers or some of the spectators actually could confirm this as well, if there was any reset on points. I'm just taking that from the website, so I don't know if that is. And it's still showing, obviously, all the LMP1 and GT E drivers in that one as well, so maybe not at this point. So, but yeah, if there is a new one, let me know, and I'll update you with that as well. So, but qualifying well under the way. We have got literally 3 seconds left of queue, so not an awful lot of time to cover it. But man out there that seems to be putting in the fastest time of the race of quali so far, Josh Thompson. Obviously, Josh driving in the Radicals colours there, and of course we know that car will be set up pretty much as good as you're going to get. Radicals an absolutely phenomenal team, competing in the World Championship as well, so BMW looks nice, and they're extracting that. It's not a car that you would necessarily assume to get on pole position, but just say in Josh's hands and the kind of setup that they've got on there, it's no wonder that they are there. So phenomenal combination. Be interesting to see how they go in the race, obviously with the cars getting the slipstream on him. Of course, he will carry more speed out of corners like Ascari and Parabolica, places like that, so it'll be very difficult to get the run on them. They'll have to close in first. So but anyone who can get a good run out of those corners might have a good opportunity to pass. Just the closing laps really coming in. We've got Adam Broughton-Grant. He's out there as well at the moment. Currently sat in 7th place. And what does he need to improve? He needs 7/8 of a second, to move up a spot. if he can get a couple of tenths, and he could get himself into the top 5. So let's see what he does here as he comes out of the Parabolica and around. It's a particularly tight line on the way off, so I don't know if that's him just doing some laps, maybe getting ready for the race. Last lap. He did improve. He did move up 1 place as well, so he just pipped Richard Warmingham. They're actually on identical lap times out there, so just gets in front of him. And yeah, up to 6th place, and that's the last of the drivers that are out there. So let's wait for the final classifications to come in. Take you through those. How does everyone like a little bit of Monza? Fantastic circuit. Always good for a bit of overtaking. I know in the BSR TC, the races that we've covered in the past have been manic. The MX5 races have been manic, and yeah, it's going to be good to when I get into touring cars around here. I'm looking forward to that one. Right, 1 second left before the standings are available. Here we go. So yeah, okay. Sure what's going on with that. Give me just a second. Sorry, guys. There we go. Just a little bit too early. So Josh Thompson takes the pole position with 1:45.028. Anwar Smith is 2nd place, just over a 10.5 behind him in the 88 car. Rich Gafenku is 3rd place, just under 0.3 of a second off. And then we've got a little bit of a gap until we get to Michael Gray. And then Luke Clark is leading the championship in 5th. Adam Broughton-Grant in 6th. Richard Warmingham in 7th. You can see how close they were. Actually, a few thousandths between them in the end. Kip Stevens is in 8th position. 9th position, we've got Lane O'Connor. Ralph Cullinan is 10th. Rafe, sorry, mate. Colin Robson in 11th. Max Wright is 12th for Automac. Then Lee Deemer. Then we have John Watson. Jim Flanagan. Scott Malcolm is 16th. And back of the pack here, we've got Carl Hardy, Anthony Jacobson, and David Eyre. Waiting for the drivers to take to the grid. Always an interesting one. So used to seeing the GT3s have a pace lap around here, starting off at the back. So this will be quite exciting just to watch them literally go straight away. See how the drivers get on as well with getting the gear in and everything else right. Here we go. Revs are building here then for race 1 of the night. At Monza, lights are out. Everyone is away. A bit of a slow start there. Who is that absolutely flying through from the back? Is going to get into the lead as well. I think it's Gafenku. If he can't quite get Thompson. He's right on the outside. Thompson into the first corner first, but Gafenku up 1 spot in the end into second. Everybody else seems to be good through the first chicane, which is always the worry here at Monza, but no such issues. Good start from everybody. Lane O'Connor losing a little place. He's in a battle right now with Kip Stevens. They're side by side as they head into the De La Roja chicane. Oh, squeeze through there. They just about managed to get side by side, but it's O'Connor that comes out on top. And then behind them, we had Colin Robson and Max Wright that were also going through that chicane side by side. Everybody's now settled into single file. Thompson is away already. I don't quite know how he's done that, but he's already 1 second clear. And that's exactly what he needed early on as well because of the draft. Smith gets himself up and into 2nd place. Coming out of the second of the Lesmos. He needed to do that, I think, if he was going to put a run on Thompson. These guys were all pretty quick. It was sort of until we got down to Michael Gray where there was that sort of jumping lap time. So going to be critical for... massive sideways moment for Gafenku. Just about holds it through there. He's going to lose so much momentum. Michael Gray is going to flow through. Luke Clark surely going to get the run down the main straight. Here he comes, pops out of the slipstream. Gray moves over to the left as well, so he's now got the extra car at that. Gray almost feeling the need to go a little defensive, but he doesn't need to at all. Oh, to the outside then. Clark has got that move complete. Richard's little slide went from second place going into turn 1 all the way down into 5th. So not the start that Richard wanted there at all. So looking so good on the first couple of corners, but yeah, just unraveled just a little bit there. Just one little sideways moment, and yeah, lots and lots of Mercedes at the front of this one, looking very, very strong is the Merc here. Where is our first sort of alternate apart from Josh? There's another BMW, and then Colin Robson in the Ferrari there. So many Mercs, crazy. Luke Clark now having to hold off Gavinko as he tries to come back round the outside. That is a fantastic move into Scari. That is not easy to pull off as well. And all credit to Clark. Gave some room there. He didn't perhaps need to. Could have made that a whole lot more difficult than he did there. But yeah, great move in the end for Richard. So just recovering after his little slide. He has lost the back of the leaders, and yeah, talking of the leaders, Smith has lost the tail of Thompson. So again, a 1/10 of a second quicker. Thompson that lap by. The BMW always good on its tyres as well, so it's not like we're going to see Smith start to come back at him as well. He just needs to really get the draft and try and catch up that way if he can. Use the extra speed that he'll have in that Merc to try and get the job done. Josh is going to be so good through the corners, the Lesmos, the Scari, Parabolica. That's where the car really excels. Of course, the Merc really is excelling. Yeah, in between all of the corners comparison. Michael Gray, what's going on? Just a connection issue. I got a little worried. I thought he was dropping down the order for a moment, but it seems to be okay. Any issues? Stabilized itself rather quick. Just a short race here as well. Those that are not aware of what sort of goes on, got a few short races tonight for you. We'll have a reverse grid as well. We could reverse everybody up to sort of, you know, the whole grid minus one driver, which is always always sucks when you come in last. I've experienced that myself now, but yeah, I think this will spice things up rather a lot if we get a big reverse grid here as well. 20-minute race around Monza, people trying to get through. It's a bit frantic. Let's see what Smith does this time. He goes a little bit. No, it's actually slower. Thompson didn't go purple. I'm guessing he must have had just an off track in that lap as well. But still stretching out that gap ever so slightly. Just over a 1/10 of a second that lap. Just can't quite seem to close on to the back. Battle for fourth. Skavenku's just managed to slip away now. Those top three drivers were all very quick, so yeah, Richard perhaps a bit gutted that he made those mistakes in the opening lap, because he'd have been right on the tail of Thompson, being able to use that draft, and to some point I think also Smith as well, because the minute he got through he was already sort of right on the tail edge of the draft, so couldn't get the best of it to try and put Thompson under pressure. So this is exactly what Josh wanted, that first lap. Luke Clark, not the best of exit coming out of the second Lesmo. Has to go a little bit defensive. He's got Adam Broughton Grant behind him. Grant having a little look. Again, he's seen how Richard got round the outside of Luke through Ascari, perhaps trying to do something else. That someone's connection, I think that's Gray's connection again, absolutely awful. Really struggling, just pops back in there. But yeah, fortunately he's in the kind of middle of no man's land at the moment. No real cars right tucked up behind him, but yeah, we just saw him like pop off as he was exiting Ascari. Thought I heard a car a bit slow. Ah, I did indeed. It's Colin Robson. Issues for Colin. Oh, and he's in the worst possible place for a spin. He can't see what is coming last now, as he's had to wait for everyone. And yep, traction control kicks in, doesn't even allow him to do a spin turn to get back going again. So Colin in his Ferrari, oh, he'll be gutted. So he's dropped 7 seconds off the back of David Ayres in 18th place now. Seems like a pretty large job to try and clutch back up. So, but back up towards the front, and third place battle continues. Slowdown for, who is that? I think it might be Warmingham, is it? It's hard to tell which one's which, sorry, because I'm not used to the paints. So I think it might have actually been Grant that got the yeah, Grant got the slowdown penalty, didn't he? It's Warmingham trying to go around the outside. Thank you all for tuning in, and those that watch it back after the event. Quite sure why we're not on iRacing Live today. But yeah, Richard able just to capitalise on that slowdown and get himself past. Took him a few corners to do, and actually these guys lost the pack somewhat that they were in. So Vinku trying to drag these guys back towards Anwar Smith, and Smith actually doing a decent job of trying to track back down Thompson, and last time by actually looked like he was quite a bit slower, so don't know what happened there. Perhaps the last lap was phenomenal for Smith, but yeah, well and truly into the draft now, and I think we'll start to see Anwar have a look here and there, just trying to size up where Josh is going to be weakest. The BMW is very, very good on the brakes as well, which will play into Josh's hands, because he's also very confident on the brakes, likes to put in a late move here and there. Works very, very well with the defending as well. He can brake so late when he needs to, even while covering the inside. Just see the breakaway pack for second and third behind as well. Fenku and Clark just not really battling at the moment, just sort of doing their thing. They were a little bit quicker than Smith the last lap, so it could, if these guys start battling a little bit more, we could see them come back towards them. They're only 4.5 seconds behind, so certainly seeing some battles around here that's lost 2-3 seconds in a couple of corners. So Smith as close as he's ever been, I feel. Could be a good run out of Parabolica. He went purple in sector 1 and sector 4 for references, so this should be a pretty tasty lap. See what he does when he crosses the line. A 1:45.567, new fastest lap of the race. Thompson goes defensive as Smith gets the slipstream into turn 1. Going to have to go around the outside. Thompson very late on the brakes, like I said he would be. Still makes the apex absolutely beautifully, and yep, survives that one as well. I feel like that was a lap where Smith was more closing in rather than actually having the move. I feel like he will get enough sort of overspeed to perhaps clear this BMW if he wants. He just needs to line the move up, keep putting Thompson under a little bit of pressure, keep him defending into the corners, make him have a tight line into Parabolica, stifle his exit somewhat, use the power of the Mercedes with the slipstream just to get by. Thompson again defending every single corner, and Smith just getting much, much better runs out of the corner now. No slipstream this time, just pure power. Drag down the back straight, side by side. He's just got his nose ahead, but Thompson has the inside. Like I said, he's very, very confident on the brakes, is Josh Thompson. Use the downforce of that BMW to sweep through Ascari. Again, he's under caution. This is exactly what Smith needs to do, though. Force Thompson to the inside. This will slow him down on the main straight. The Mercedes power should get him clear. Look at how confident Josh is with the BMW, but this is exactly what Smith needs. Covers up the inside quickly as well. You always have to be careful here because you can get pinched off the circuit when you do that. But I feel like Smith, nothing Thompson can do whatsoever. Has a little think about ducking back up the inside, but just too far behind. And yeah, that was a great battle for both drivers for the lead, but Smith really was shaping that up the whole lap there, making 100% sure that John Thompson was just defending every corner so that he just kept the pressure on him. Has a little look back, does Josh. Smith just has to go a little bit defensive into the second chicane. Oh, great drive off of that corner as well. And again, he's going to have to go a little bit defensive once again into Lesmo's. The downforce of that BMW. Oh. That is phenomenal driving from both of them there. Thompson using that downforce just to carry around the outside of the Lesmos. Fantastic performance. Well, they're battling. I did say this might cause some issues with allowing Richard back into it. Richard now 1.6 seconds back. Any moment we're going to see him pop up into this battle for first place box. But there he is. So he's right in there. And I think he'll be getting the draft now as well. 1.4 seconds as they exit Ascari. Smith having a little look on the inside. Thompson doesn't need to go defensive this time. He'll carry that extra speed with the downforce he's got through a parabolica and away. So 0.3 of a second, you can just see he opened up about 0.5 of a second, did Thompson through there. Smith's going to get much better drive off the corner with the slipstream, so still an opportunity to pass. It's down to 0.1 of a second. Thompson going defensive, Smith to the outside. Is he going to try and carry the speed around the outside again? He doesn't do that, and there's Gafencu, pops himself up and into that first place battle box. This race is absolutely on while they are doing this as well. He is going to just hope and pray that they carry on doing this for a few more laps. We're 14, well, nearly 15 minutes in, so 3/4 of the way through this race, really. Josh looks supremely confident over the large curbs as well. Makes such a big difference when you can attack those, as opposed to having to sort of nurse the car around. Not the best of lines through Smith, coming off of Lesmo 2. Drops back to about 4 and a bit tenths back, uses that power again down the straight. You can see closes in a good 1/10.5 down this back straight. Under braking, good line through Ascari. Thompson onto the power a bit earlier, starts to pull away, but to say Smith very committed through there. Richard closing in just a fraction. Oh, didn't have a good exit at all though, did Richard. Lost a load of time. Just look at how good that BMW is. Just look at how early Josh can pick up the gas. That's the only frustrating thing for Smith, really. But in the exact opposite, Thompson knows he's just not got quite the same legs down here, and he's going to have to go defensive no matter what. Although it's a little bit more comfortable this time. Venku now right in this battle, 0.8 behind Smith, but still right in it. Like I say, just a couple more laps, that's what he's hoping for. It's also a good battle here. This is for 7th place. So we've got Dima, O'Connor Cullinan and Stevens 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th here as well. Dima really just sort of holding on to this 7th place under a lot of pressure. Takes in quite a lot of speed into the second chicane there. Compromises him somewhat. Rafe Cullinan had a little look on O'Connor. Side by side, once again, we've seen that BMW uses performance through the Lesmo corners to get the run. Somebody's sliding. Don't know who that is. And yeah, Rafe was able to complete that move. That's good from Cullinan. Blue flag racing. What's going back on at the front? What's going on more than anything now is actually Richard is starting to put the pressure on Smith. Smith all of a sudden has had a slight change of focus, gone from attack to defence as Richard really starting to motor. It's worth pointing out that Smith does have some damage on the side of that car as well. Could potentially be slowing him down in a straight line, not a huge amount, but yeah, a little bit. 1 second is the gap to the leader. 18 minutes 20 seconds gone of this 20-minute race. We'll get this one and one other one in, but all of a sudden Thompson is getting what he needs, and that was Richard involved in this battle, giving Smith something to worry about. So it's been a great drive from Richard. If he can get second place in this one, that'd be phenomenal. I mean, he had that issue, didn't he, in the little moment where he lost all those places. So he's had to fight through for this, and he's back within a chance of a win. I feel like he's going to need to get Smith going into the Parabolica if he was to have any chance. Hold on to it down that back straight. It's not going to happen. Close. A couple of tenths of a second out. This is absolutely perfect for Thompson. 2 tenths he pulls through Parabolica. Phenomenal. Speed for that BMW through there. Mercedes fighting amongst themselves. Gonna let this one slip away. Side by side then, Grafenko with the slight advantage of speed going down there. He's going to have to go around the outside and then have the inside for the next. He does that. It compromises his exit from behind. Smith will get a much better drive. Well, he should have got a much better drive, but he didn't. And that has let Richard get away. We're talking 6 tenths of a second. That's quite a margin. Issue for Max Wright. He's into the pits on the final lap of the race. Not what he wanted at all. The top 3, really, I think that is them done, settled. Unless Smith can fight back. Thompson has pulled away nearly 2 seconds with their little battle over the last couple of laps. Good from him. He weathered the storm for a moment from Smith. Smith had his opportunity, I think, once he got clear. Needed to defend the position. He couldn't really let Thompson get back around the outside of him at the Lesmos. That was the critical thing for him. As soon as that happened, and Richard was back in this battle, it's what opened the race up for Josh. What's going on between Cullinan, Dima, Connor and Kip? Not a whole lot, to be honest. They're all sort of there in the battle, but nothing going on. Lap 12, waiting for the checkered flag to come out. There it does for Josh Thompson. Great drive from Josh. He deserves that one. It was a great move around the outside of the Lesmo. And Richard Kafenko, what a great recovery drive as well. He had that moment, dropped him back. And, Michael Gray. He's had another issue out there. His connection's been playing him up all race. and he has a spin on the final corner. Ah, what a gutting move. Gutting thing to happen on the final lap. He was not under any pressure whatsoever. He just lost the rear. He'll be absolutely kicking himself in that car. Ah, what a nightmare. I think we're just waiting for... Here he comes, Max Wright in the Audi. Well, that's the kind of day I think Max is going to have here. And that's him, just across the line. Just. Right. Just get the standings for you guys. Here we go then. First race of the night here at Monza. And Josh Thompson takes the win from Richard Gafencu in second place, 1.9 seconds. That barely shows the story of the race because it was a fantastic race for the lead right up until about 2 laps to go. Anwar Smith takes third place. Luke Clark, no harm in maintaining the lead in his championship. Fourth place there. Richard Warmingham in fifth. Also good for him as far as championship points are concerned. Lee Deemer in sixth. Rafe Cullen seventh. Lane O'Connor is eighth. Kip Stevens is ninth. Jim Flanagan come across in 10th place, 22 seconds behind our leader. Michael Gray with the mistake at the end cost him so dearly, finished in 11th, and Broughton Grant is 12th. Scott Malcolm for Automech, 30 seconds behind our leader in 13th place. Then it was John Watson, 14th. Carl Hardy finished 15th for Result Clothing. Colin Robinson in 16th place. Anthony Jacobs finished in 17th. 18th was Max Wright. Last but not least, we had David Ayres. So yeah, David had his shoes somewhere out there. I don't recall seeing that, so I'll see if I can catch that back. Let's just have a look, see if I can find where we lost David. Then I'll get the reverse grid for you guys. Fortunately, I can't find it. So sorry about that. Right, spinny wheel time. Let's bring it up and give it a little spin and see who it is that's going to be on pole position. I think it's going to sneak past 20th, is it? Or is it just about going to hold? It doesn't. It's 10th place, so that makes Jim Flanagan for pole position of race 2. So yeah, Jim, let's just see sort of what sort of lap times Jim was doing. He was about 1.3 seconds off the pace, actually. There's that big group in and around that sort of pace. So depending on how tough it is for Thompson and co to get by those guys, he might be able to build up enough of a margin for this one, so to get it. But yeah, he's going to need a good start and try and break away. And we have seen that in the past, especially here at Monza. So yeah, all the best luck for Flanagan on that one. Join us in about 10-15 minutes. We'll be back. Hopefully we will be joined by Sam Fitzpatrick and Andrew Woodhouse for that one by then. So, but yeah, stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment.
Once again, photo finish here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV and the BSR Grand Tour. We're at Monza for this round. I have not been joined by Sam Fitzpatrick and Andrew Woodhouse. The VTEC Supersport Series is still going, but Paul Smith has kindly decided to jump in and join me for this. So welcome, Paul. Thank you very much for saving my bacon.
That's all right. I know what it's like to do a single man broadcast. So yeah, it's always nice to have somebody to actually talk to.
We have got a roll-in start this time, and Jim Flanagan is on the pole position. Now, did you catch the last race at all?
Yes, I saw with Josh doing a good performance in that BMW. He seems to suit that BMW actually. Be interested to see how he comes through with that top 10 reverse grid in that last one.
Well, you're a BMW driver yourself,
Yeah.
and obviously you had a blast at the BMW in the World GT Series this week around here as well. So you know the car well and the track combination. So last race kind of went Josh's way. He had to do that great move around the outside of the Lesmos to get the lead back. I have to say that was, he needed to do that straight away to get it. This race is going to be totally different for him. Of course, he's got to try and come through the pack. The BMW is where it's struggles with the straight line speed and getting these moves done if you're in sort of like pack racing conditions, which you usually get with the reverse grid. So what's he going to have to do here? Where's his best opportunity to get these moves done?
Well, the benefit of the BMW with it having so much downforce is the rear wing pretty much zero. You don't run any rear wing if you can help it. Wide of the exit, it's scary.
Yeah.
But you also carry the speed through the corners as well, so it may not have the out-and-out sort of top speed, but it has grunt out the corners because it's carrying that little bit more speed, and that's what we were finding last week in the World GT Championship. And I was able to keep up. In the end, I was only about 2.5-3 kilometers an hour slower than the fastest speed, so it sort of balances itself out a little bit.
So what you're saying is iRacing have done a good job with the balance of performance.
Yeah, absolutely.
As we were having a bit of a fun debate off camera just a moment ago. So, yeah. We did. You heard it here. iRacing have done a good job. Here we go then. Race 2 is away. Flanagan literally has lit it up straight away as soon as the pace car ducked out of the way. Got a nice little gap is what he needs. Kip Stevens in second place. He has got Rafe Cullinan right on the outside of him, on the inside, sorry, using that BMW power that we were talking about. Oh, it doesn't quite get the move done. Lane O'Connor dropped to place, but everybody else seems to be through turn 1, as there's a little bit of contact with 3 wide coming off the corner. That's Smith. Oh no, Smith's gone. Bosh, got hit really hard on the back, spun the car around. That is going to be suspension damage for sure, Paul.
Oh, absolutely. That's going to be a write-off, is that one. Going 3 wide out there, it's not the best idea, really. At this track, it's not the widest of tracks in Monza, and yeah, he's got to park the car. He can't even get around Curve Grande, one of the easiest corners on this track. So yeah, big dramas for him earlier. All caught up in that was Broughton Grant as well. So he's having to limp that car back to the pits, but he's got a substantial amount of damage in his car.
We're just having a little look at it back on a replay. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, no, like all 3 drivers there was a little bit of room to the right, a little bit of room to the left, and yeah, Mercedes is a big old car, and I think to try and get 3 round there perfectly in sync so they don't touch each other.
Oh, we've got an accident at the exit of Scarrett. It's Michael Gray. He's got caught up in a little bit of shenanigans. They were all checking up on the exit of Ascari, actually. They were going 3 wide in the end, and he's just got caught up behind and lost the back end. And that's Michael out this race as well.
Oh, and it didn't actually make contact with anyone, did he? Just watching it back on replay, didn't make it caught him out a little bit, maybe gone to the power, got a little giddy thinking, I can get some places here. And it just all unfolded for him. Jim Flanagan just missed the apex completely, so that was back in the next country somewhere.
One thing I would say about Jim Flanagan, will he get a penalty for that start? Because he got on the power straight away, but the green flag was kept flowing for quite a while. He was he was pretty much on past the pace car before it actually entered the pits, so it'd be touch and go. I know the World GT guys in the first race got caught out with that this last week, so hopefully, touch wood for Jim, that he's able to avoid a penalty there, but it's coming under serious pressure from Ralph and from Kip as well, and Leonard Connor is not that far behind as well.
Yeah, I think he was all right. Well, we'll see. Is it 3 laps you got to serve it? As he has to go a little bit defensive here. I mean, he's driving like he hasn't got a penalty, if you know what I mean. I think if you knew you had a penalty coming, would you try and hold these drivers up, or would you have got in early? I don't know. So it looks like he really is giving it everything out there. So I think he's trying to hold on to his lead.
Yeah, Lee Deemer's lost it through Ascari. He got caught up with Josh Thompson trying on the inside. Ooh, a little bit forceful there, I have to say. And yeah, away around goes Luke and Lee, and he's still not back on track yet. He's finally getting.
Yeah, just watch that back on replay. You're right, it was forceful, but I don't think there was anything wrong with it, because actually Dima was sort of on the outside already, wasn't he? Because somebody else was trying to go through. For the lead then, it's getting a bit tasty, I think. Just saw some change of positions on my live timing for a second, but seemed like Rafe couldn't get the move done. But yeah, I think Josh was just optimistic there, didn't he? And tried to follow the other car through. Dima tried to close it off, and yeah, they ended up on the sausage curbs, and that's what spun him around and off the circuit. Oh, jeez. That was almost like sort of Vettel-esque, where he went off the circuit there for Cullinan.
Yeah, I tell you what, if there's one thing that I remember from doing the club series, is Jim Flanagan is a robust defender of the position, that's for sure, as we've seen it in BSRTC as well from Jim. So he's always keen to hold on to that lead if he can keep it, and he's got a queue of cars now behind him, all putting the pressure on here, and this is the problem for him. He's at that front of that queue, he's putting the ball in the air for the rest of them to get the slipstream from.
Working quite well. Oh, I'm just looking behind again. Thompson up the inside of Lane O'Connor, gets that done. Connor kind of hung out to dry there. He couldn't really turn in at all, and he lost an absolute boatload of time to that little group now. So, yep, Thompson up and into 4th place. It's a gain of 6 spots already. Doesn't seem to be holding him back. He's got 10 laps left to make this, drag this Radicals car to the front. Rafe again with a great drive. Let's go on board. See, he is closing in down that straight. You can say he's getting done. Look at the time. The delta's coming down. 1/10 of a second. Have to duck out. Jolly on the brakes. Trying to stay as close as possible. Get a bit of side draft even to the very last minute. Oh, takes in a bit too much speed, but gets the move done. Fantastic.
Now, the next thing that
needs to hold it.
Yeah, he needs to hold it, but he needs to try and get a gap to the guys behind. He wants to try and break that slipstream as quickly as possible to then just relieve the pressure from him, because here comes Thompson now. He's having a look at Kip Stevens into the braking zone for the De La Roja. And nicely done there from Josh. Held his line, late braking. That's another thing with this BMW, you can hit the brakes very late. It's very good on the brakes, is that car, so you can really be aggressive into those braking zones. And I think that's what we're seeing here from Josh today. Just 2 cars in front of him. Can he make it 2 from 2?
Yeah, it's looking quite good right now. Rafe had pretty good pace in the last race, I have to say. So if Flanagan is as robust as he was for Cullinan, and maybe that might give a 3 or 4 second gap, but right now Rafe doesn't look like he can drop Jim. Jim very good through Ascari. Thompson better. Yeah, Josh having to go to the outside, and I tell you what, I don't doubt that he's just going to drive this car right round the outside of him here.
Yeah, that he's going to have the grip, and he's going to be able to get the power earlier as well, going that wider line, so he's going to carry more speed out of the corner, and that's exactly what has happened there. Jim, though, ducking back into the slipstream. That's clever from Jim Flanagan, trying to use the slipstream of that BMW down in towards the first chicane. Emilio, and look at the speed that Jim's got there. He's got the slipstream of the car in front as well. Thompson late on the brakes, still side by side. A little bit of rubbing, but they're able to carry on.
Yeah, brilliant racing that is there. That's as close as you're going to get without a big mistake. Kip gets back closer again. This is absolutely perfect for what Rafe wanted now. That is, it's not quite, the slipstream broke. We're about a second out. That happens one more time, he will break it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if I was him, I'd be looking at my mirrors going, yeah, go on guys, keep on fighting. I'm
Yeah,
going to
please
walk
do.
away here.
Thompson. Oh, I thought he was going to have a little look into the inside of Lesmo too. It doesn't usually end too well if you do that. But the person on the outside, like you say, Paul, every time you can see the run that he's getting off the corners, the car, the BM, it's just taking that much more speed through. It's what's making it possible. Then the power of the Mercedes sort of kicks back in. Oh, around the outside of Ascari, fantastic. So doesn't want to take anybody up the inside today, does Josh? Just round the outside for me, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Now look ahead though. 1.4, just about 1.5 seconds. Just maybe broken that slipstream just slightly there. And Josh is going to play on his pace. Be able to get back up with the leader there.
Yeah, and looking at the qualifying, the last one, I have no doubts that he will do that. But right now, he's under a bit of pressure still, because I think that Jim, if he gets a half an opportunity here, he will throw it up the inside or around the outside. This could just delay Thompson a little bit more. And again, look at the speed that he's got. Gets almost clear past into the braking zone. But this time, Josh able to take enough speed so there's no repeat incident of what happened before. And actually, Flanagan gets a poor exit off, and Gafenku has come through the pack. Richard was very quick in the first race as well. And he's come through this field. He's up 5 spots. Last lap was pretty quick. And he's going to want to get past Flanagan as quickly as possible. This is the first time sort of Jim's having to defend from a Mercedes that's got the same sort of grunt as what he has, and can't quite do it. And yeah, Richard up and through the De La Roger.
Yeah, absolutely. Kafenko, he made it past Kip Stevens on the start-finish straight. Then up past Jim. He's on a bit of a mission here now. He's 9/10 behind Josh Thompson, who actually is only second behind the leader now. So that gap at front has come down a little bit here in this one, even with the battling that Josh had to do with Jim Flanagan into turn 1. So this race is not over yet. We're on lap 6. Still plenty of action to be had here. And yeah.
It was a mistake. I heard a little slide, and it was a mistake for Rafe going into Ascari. Got himself all out of shape. And now Thompson right on his tail. And darts up the inside into the Parabolica. It's going to be in a straight out fight. Both cars obviously going to be able to get on the power as early as each other there. And Rafe, I think, has got a good drive here. He's got a great opportunity coming back. Is he going to dart to the inside? No, he decides the outside.
Yeah, the thing is, he was able to get the cutback and just get on the power a little bit earlier than Josh, able to get up in the slipstream. What's his braking like? They're still side by side. They're squeezing each other into that chicane. Still a little bit of rubbing again from Josh, but Josh is able to get on the power a little bit sooner there. Oh, a little bit more rubbing as they're going into Curva Grande. And Rafe, he's not giving this one up without a fight, but that's bringing Richard Gafenku into this battle as well. There's still a little bit more rubbing. They just can't be separated here. Rafe onto the brakes early for the De La Roja, and here's Gafenku now. He's saying thank you very much, let's have a bit of action here. As Jim Flanagan has had a mistake. He's in the gravel at the exit of the De La Roja, and he's dropped down to 7th place here.
Yeah, Lane O'Connor just nipping through there as well. I think this is important for Thompson right now as well. He needs Rafe to really defend from Jim at the same rate. Although Jim's got a fantastic run out of Lesmo too, and I think he's going to be clear almost by the time they reach Ascari. Yeah, not so much, but has got a nose ahead, and yeah, in the end, Rafe settles in. So yeah, Richard was very quick in the closing stages of the last race. So I feel within that 1 second of Thompson, we could have a great race for the lead here as well. And if Rafe can just hold on to to Kvenka. He might even have a chance of sort of even getting involved in the closing laps, depending on how hard these guys fight. So, yeah, fingers crossed. Come on, Richard. Let's get up to the back. I want to see an epic race.
Oh, Scott Malcolm making a move on Colin Robinson into the Parabolica. Very good move from Scott there. Able to get on the exit, get on the power, and able to clear Colin, who ran a bit wide through Parabolica actually there in the Ferrari. Struggled a little bit for grip. But yeah, definitely you've seen some really good action here, as always. And Richard Warmingham now, 5th place, battling with Kip Stevens as well. They're just dropping back a little bit, I'd say, from that front 3.
Yeah, Warmingham with the fastest lap of the race that time by as well. So very good lap from him. 146.54. He's alongside and up the inside and through on Kip Stevens. Yeah, Kip not really defending it too hard there, I have to say. He had the opportunity to close that out a long time before, but yeah, decided not to.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you could see that that Richard has got a bit more pace than him, and he's thinking the long game, and just not wanting to get involved in any silly shenanigans and get a good result for Kip today. At least at the moment in this race, it's a pretty solid one. He's got a good gap behind him as well, so if he sticks with them, he can. These two can pull each other forward towards the other.
Right, looking at the gap at the head, then it's come down. It was a couple of tenths of a second, gained a tenth and a bit through Ascari, and then lost it again down into the run into Parabolica. So that's the way it sort of ebbs and flows between the Merc and the BMW. But that's a great run for Kefenku around Parabolica. Didn't lose any time at all through there. So it's going to close up, I don't know, a couple of tenths of a second down this straight. Let's have a look here. 7 tenths
from Kefenku. 46.5, 46.7 from Thompson as well.
Yeah.
These guys are really pushing it. Oh, Kefenku getting right up behind Thompson on the brakes there, actually. Was really good on the brakes going to there. Now Thompson, because he's been bashed about a little bit, he's got a little bit of damage to the side of his car there. That will just slightly affect his top speed down the straight here.
Yeah, 1 or 2k is not what he needs, you know. It's probably not going to be much, but that will make all the difference. He's already down. You said to me earlier, Paul, some places with the draft and things like that, it was about 3k, but Josh hasn't got any draft and perhaps a little bit of damage as well, just to make it worse. So let's see what kind of speed difference is going to go on between the two drivers here.
Really good battle though. I tell you what, we're on lap 9, we're coming towards the closing stages of the race, and look at this, Richard Kefenku. He's coming through, he's found his pace, maybe he's set up his car to feel a bit more lively with a lighter fuel load. And it's certainly working well for him now. He's all over the back of Josh Thompson to come through this chicane.
Yeah, good run out of Ascari. Oh, who is that? Extremely wide. Richard just about holds it.
That's a change of underpants, I think, for Richard there. I tell you what, he bounced it off the curb as the lead battle through the Parabolica. Thompson able to get the run out the corner, but this is where Kefenku, you would imagine, will have that grunt advantage over the BMW.
Yeah, Josh squeezing already. Kefenku with the new fastest lap of the race, and drives off. Josh ducking back towards the inside for a moment, thought about it, but round the outside, late on the brakes, that's extremely good. I talked about that in the first race as well, how confident Josh is on the brakes. He's a bit like Sutton in that way, you know. We've seen Ash always so good on the brakes, Thompson the same, managed to get the car stopped as later than just about any other driver out there. Once again, side by side, Thompson got the inside. Takes it in. Oh, he's overshot the De La Roger.
It was just too much that time. He tried as late as he dared, but it didn't work out for him. So Kefenku into the lead, already a second because of that mistake. Josh needs to stay in the slipstream here. He needs to try and bring himself back towards Richard, but the laps are counted down. We're running out of time here. for Josh and Rafe. Third place, he's sort of in that no man's land, isn't he, Rafe, in that third place? He's got a second and a half between him and Josh Thompson, but about 2 seconds between him and Richard.
Yeah, it's just on the tail end of the draft of these guys as well, so it's kind of helping him to sort of maintain that gap to Richard. Richard, very, very quick. He had that massive sort of off and change of underwear last lap coming out of Ascari and set him back a little bit. So I think if Rafe could just nail his apexes the last few laps, we only got 3 laps to go after this one, then he should be on for a podium. And who knows what might happen between the front two as well, because I've seen Josh get in an accident or two in the past, you know.
Really? I have said, and I've said this on previous broadcasts in other places as well, and even on my own personal streams. If Josh focused his attention and stopped involving silly shenanigans, he would be a really, really good, consistent, fast driver here. He just gets a little bit over-ambitious with some of his moves, shall we say, and if he could just tame that or improve his judgment of overtakes, then he would be one of the top 10, 15 drivers in sim racing.
Couldn't agree with you more. Yeah. I think we said that in the Renault series. I think we said that in the touring car series and everything. So much potential there. So, and I have to say tonight's been great performance from him so far. Some fantastic moves as well. And if he can get this one done cleanly, there'll be another one for him. 1/10 of a second now has closed him in. He's definitely got the outright pace. Just Richard was able to use the draft and the speed of that Merc to get into the lead.
I have a question for you here. If you're in Josh Thompson's shoes, do you wait until the last lap, just hang behind Richard, and then wait for the last lap to use the draft then?
It's difficult. I think you got to have a trial run. I think you got to try and get past to have a bit of a trial run, because you don't really know. If it was Anwar Smith that he was racing, I'd have said, he knows he's already where he can get him, but he's not so sure on Richard. And Richard fought back on that last race. He had a great drive, so I think you've got to have a go, see where the drivers are vulnerable, and if they get back past you before the last lap, then no problem. You can try and do it again on the last lap.
Yeah, he was having a look there. He was trying to get in the mirrors of Richard, but Richard gets really connected out the Della Roger, so pulls out that gap to half a second again. But as it is with Monza, Josh will be able to reel in that gap with the slipstream here, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes into the Retifilia. And he should be back on the tail of Richard, heading towards his Scarra chicane.
Yeah, great exit once again. Battle sort of died off a little bit. There's still this one going on for 6 between Clark, Flanagan and O'Connor as well. It's actually more like 2 separate battles really, so 6 and then for 8. Keep an eye on that closing laps as well. But Josh, as close as he's ever been, almost got alongside. He's got great sort of change of direction going through Ascari, going into it. But so has Gafenko as well. That Mercedes looks quite nimble turning in there. So such a tank of a car, but it turns in lovely. Gets perhaps a little bit sideways, but seems to stick no problem. Here we go then. I think this is where Thompson needs to do it. This is as close as he's been. Very wide line. Oh no!
I tell you what, he did it last lap, did Gafenko, ran out wide on the exit of the Parabolica, and I thought it was a little bit risky, and he showed exactly why it's risky that time. There's a nasty bump out there by the curb. He was running it right out to the gravel. There's a nasty bump there on the exit of the curb. That's part of the reason why you don't go out there in the first place, Richard.
Absolutely, you do not. So got away with one on the last lap, didn't he? I think not hitting that. We saw that. Where did we see that? We saw that in another series. I'm not sure where it was, but it was recent. Was it in the World GT? I think it might well have been. The driver did exactly the same thing. Or maybe, no, I tell you where it was at. It was in the VTEC Super Series on the other channel right now. They did that last week. One of the quick drivers just abused the track limits a little bit and severely got punished for it. And that's exactly what's happened for Gafenku there.
Scott Malcolm's dropping down positions. And
Fuel? He's gonna retire, yeah.
I thought it was just a slowdown penalty, but
oh, sorry, Luke Clark, just massive squirrely moment coming out of Lesmo too. Managed to hold on to it. Flanagan wants to see if he can get this spot. I'm not sure he's going to have enough drive. Somehow Clark managed to hold on to it. He's going to have to go around the outside of Ascari. Thompson's going to be coming up to win this race at some point as well. Here he is down the back straight.
Yeah, Parabolica. Great drive from Josh once again. Had to get the elbows out a little bit on occasion. But yeah, hats off to him. Good drive from him to take the win.
Yeah, it was good drive. Put Richard under pressure, I think, in the end. Forced him to really sort of get on the power. Rafe Cullinan comes across in second place. That's a damn good race from him as well. Did what he needed to do at the start. And Richard Warmingham, who I have to say showed some good pace as well. And yeah, he'll be happy with that. Yeah, squeaky bum moment for a little bit, but yeah, managed to come away with a podium. And then everybody else is just sailing through.
Max Wright run out of fuel again. I'm sure in the last race he ran out of fuel as well, didn't he?
Did he run out of fuel? I think he's just messing around, is Max, right, isn't he? He's like, oh, I'm in the Audi. Boo.
I don't know, it was lurching
He's
about
not-
coming
he's
through
n-
Parabolica.
He's not run out of fuel. He'd have made that easy. Slowed it down. He's on the brakes. No. He's just playing with us. But yeah, Admiral and Grant coming across. Paul Hardy as well. There he goes.
It's everyone.
Right, just give me a second. Let me get the results. And then if you wouldn't mind doing the honours, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely then. So 13 laps of Monza, the Autodromo Nacional Monza, and it was Josh Thompson starting 10th place, winner of race 1, the reverse grid, and he ended up winning this one in the second race here. Rafe Cullinan, second place in that one. Good drive from him, was able to put pressure on early on, just wasn't able to quite keep up with Josh in that one. Richard Warmingham, third, good result again for him. Coming through from 6th place on the grid. We saw that heart in the mouth moment for him. Kip Stevens, 4th place in the end. He'll be pleased with that, considering that he wasn't really fighting the positions too much in that one. Luke Clark 5th with Lynn O'Connor 6th. We saw them battling through towards the end of the race there. Jim Flanagan started on pole. He'll be a little bit disappointed of dropping down to 7th place, but still solid points for him in the championship. John Watson in 8th place after starting 14th, so good recovery drive from him. With Colin Robinson in 9th, we saw him battling with Scott Malcolm earlier on. Anthony Jacobson rounds out the top 10, and then the rest of your field, you've got Lee Deemer and Max Wright 11th and 12th, Adam Broughton Grant 13th with Carl Hardy 14th, who actually had an incident at the Ascari chicane, lost control at the exit of the Ascari chicane earlier on in the race. Rich Gafenko classes 1 lap down along with Scott Malcolm, and Smith down in 17th, 1 lap down as well, and Michael Gray, we saw have his incident, is classified 3 laps down.
Well, I'm pretty. I thought that was a pretty good race. Some great moves in there, and yeah, it's always good to see the reverse grid and Josh proving you can win at Monza in the BMW.
Highly underrated car, in my opinion.
Right, let's get the reverse grid wheel up. We'll give that a spin, find out what the grid's going to be for the final race. We're expecting, obviously, a slightly longer race for the final one. And yeah, we'll see who is going to be on the pole position for that one. Right, so it's a full -2. Who is that going to be?
Is that going to be Richard Gafenko?
No, it won't, because he Because it's still the 2 laps down, isn't it? So,
Yeah, well, he was on the 1 lap down on the result.
okay. I can't see the results, unfortunately. So let me bring them up.
Anwar Smith was 17th 1 lap down. Then you got Scott Lauken in 16th.
You're
one
right.
lap down.
You're right.
And
It is
Richard
good.
Gavenko, 15th 1 lap down. So he would be on pole position now.
I'm sorry to butt in, gentlemen. Hello, by the way.
Hello.
Sam Kumo just put a message on saying that because it's the third race is decided by the results of race 2.
Oh, wow.
So so the wheel, you wound it up, you got it going, you built the suspense, and then nothing.
Boo, boo, boo. They take my pleasures away from me. I'm the wheel man. I love to spin the wheel.
To be
Oh,
fair,
well.
you used to spin the wheel anyway, even when we knew it would be
But-
a pole.
This is true, so I've just done it again. So, oh well. Well, in that case, so is it full reverse? So will it
I
be?
think so.
So it'll be Smith then who'll be on the pole.
It was full last week. I know that.
Yeah.
In the last race, it was full.
So it'll be Smith, then Malcolm, then Confectionery. So actually, Richard gets a little bit of a get out of jail free card with getting on towards the front, and Smith actually can recover as well after his incident early on. Right. Well, on that bombshell, or not will, I will. We'll be back in about 15-20 minutes time for the final race of the night here at Monza. Stay with us. Welcome back to the final race of the evening here at Monza for the BSR Grand Tour. Alex Simpson, Paul Smith. We enjoyed the last race. Fantastic. Josh Thompson as well. I don't want to say he was gifted that one, but he was gifted a lot easier win than it would have been, Paul.
It was looking like it was going to be a really hard challenge towards the end, and then Richard Gafenko found out what happens if you run out too far wide at the parabolica. No reverse grid here, Alex.
Well, in that case, I better. Yeah. Okay. We know what we're doing.
Well, we don't normally cover this. Well, I don't normally cover
No,
this.
neither do I, in
Sure.
fairness, either. So yeah, I'm kind of jumping in. But yeah, so no Will, and yeah, we weren't told that it was okay. So just Thompson with the start then. So no gifts for get out of jail free cards or anything. So all what I talked about was utter nonsense at the end of the last race.
To be fair, what we normally talk is nonsense anyway. So
This is true. So
of course.
Right, let's have a look at some track conditions out there. What have we got? Looks like sort of late afternoon conditions and 33-degree temperature as well. So track temp's going to be pretty tasty. Good for racing. It's going to keep the tyres. Obviously, we are expecting one pit stop here in this race as well. I believe they do that with limiting the fuel. So yeah, it should be interesting. So two Ferraris. Oh, I wish, and the Italians, Tifosi wish, but no, two BMWs on the front row then. That is not what you're used to seeing here at Monza.
We'll get used to it, that's for sure. They're going now. They're seeing we have to wait a long time for the green flag, but it's waving in the air now, so we're underway 35 minutes around Monza.
Yeah, can catch a few people out. That green flag, you can really wait as the leader, but Thompson decided not to. And yeah, the two BMWs through turn one, no issues. There's a little bit of contact further back. I think that was Lane O'Connor. Got a little tap and got out of shape. He's lost the position to Flanagan, but manages to hold on to everything else. Lee Deemer up 3 spots already in this one, so fantastic start from him. And Adam Grant up 1, Anwar Smith up 3 as well, so he's shacking a little bit out there. Gafenko right at the back, he's got damage already, so not the kind of start that he wanted at all.
Yeah, that damage is really going to affect him in this race as well. But hopefully she'll be able to get some work fixed at the pit stop here. But he is running really slowly at the moment. Speed now, down in 18th place, as you say, last place. But it was all checking up at that first chicane, and that's what always happens at the...
Oh, Thompson around and into the wall. He's come back onto the line. Will everybody avoid him? He's got massive damage on the front. I said in the last race, he's, just seemed to have great change of direction going into there. But, yeah, the BMW did not stick this time at all. Maybe the slightly cooler track conditions threw the balance of the car off. And boom, into the wall.
Yeah, that's it. It's almost as if he'd carried too much speed into that corner. But, yeah, the tyres maybe not up to temperature there, and around he goes. They'll be able to bring that car into the pits, though.
He just took too much speed in, way too much.
Yeah.
He missed the apex and everything, so just a bit overconfident in the first lap. He had such a margin already, and yeah, big damage. He's going to be right at the back, so we've got 2 of the drivers at the back. Finku's in. Thompson continues. So, yeah, the issues for Richard are forcing him in.
I'm surprised that Josh didn't take a fast pit there.
Yeah, me too.
On that car, he'll be losing out so much top end.
Well, we are expecting the drivers to pit anyway, so maybe that he's just trying to hold it out to the position where he can use that stop, and then it's not going to be a complete penalty for him, and he's just got to make up the time that he lost in the spin.
Yeah, he's probably thinking, you see, this is why I sit in the commentary box and he's out there racing. Don't know what it says about yourself, Alex, but that's why you're sat there telling me that.
Just been told you're very quiet, so we'll give you a little bit of boost of volume. So apologies for that. But yeah, thank you, Andrew.
Well, battling further down, Max Wright, Anthony Jacobson. Side by side, it's Ascari, and
It's
look
a
at that.
great little battle.
Smith following through there. Great drive through from Smith.
Smith, of course, was very quick in the first race as well, and with the podium. Had that unfortunate 3-wide incident at the start of the last race, up 6 spots already.
Jacobson really struggling here. He's dropping all the way down here to the back of that queue. He did start this lap in 9th place and he's just fallen away here down to 16th. So not ideal for Anthony. Not a good lap for him, but we're still seeing pretty close battles. None closer really than the battle at the front, but also Lee Deemer's looking a bit handy. And Max Wright as well, still counting Amar Smith, who's actually made it past Max Wright there.
Yeah, up 7 spots now for Smith. He's flying. Max, the only Audi. Got a debate on whether to turn you up or down some more, Paul.
Well, I mean, looking at Max Wright's car, he's got rear end damage. Now I'm wondering if that's who Richard Gafenko got into the back of.
Quite possible,
At
yeah.
the
It's pretty
start.
heavy that is as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to leave you out as they are, I think. Your microphone is better quality, it seems, as well. So I'm all crappy, and now you sound a little softer.
Oh well, there you go. That's it's the first time that I've been told I sound good, and that's for sure. But it's great battling here, though. But Richard Warmingham, though, look at that. He's in the lead now. It's whether he can pull away here in this one. I mean, we're only 5 minutes into this race, so plenty can happen in this one. And still, Rafe, it's whether he can stick there with Warmingham as they head down. But here comes Luke Clark looking to the inside, but he's not going to make the move from that far back, I'm afraid.
It's going to be interesting to see how this pans out, actually, because Warmingham, before his little sideways moment, was catching up with Cullinan, wasn't he, in that last race as well? So I feel like he just has a little bit of an edge on him. But yeah, Rafe with the slipstream might be able to hold on to the back of Warmingham here as well. So Luke Clark lapping very, very similar times to Rafe as well. And we know that Kip sort of stayed there or thereabouts in the last race too. So could be, yeah, this one could come down to if anyone can break away or what people do as far as when they jump into the pits and see if they can slingshot past anybody with some strategy options.
Well, this is it. I mean, if I'm Rev, one thing the BMW is good at is slightly better on its fuel economy. But I'd sit behind. I would sit in that second place, sit in the slipstream there, get a bit more fuel saving done so that when you do come to your pit stop, you're putting in less fuel at that pit stop. You're able to get that Richard Warmingham running out wide there again through Ascari. We saw that in the last race, and that's really compromised him down the straight. And Rafe, well, he's having to make the move into the lead here.
Yeah, he didn't have any choice really. He couldn't check up there, otherwise Clark would have come past as well, wouldn't he? So straight through, and yeah, I think we'll see Richard get back past at some point. We'll use the drive that Merc has got. But I think you're right, actually, Paul. I think because the BMW is good on its tyres as well. I expect these guys won't take tyres at all. So they will, as Clark has a look on Warmingham here, up the inside, Richard actually backs out of it somewhat, sees Clark come in and says, well, I'm not going to get involved in anything at this early stage. We've got a long way to go.
I'm going to draw your attention down to Josh Thompson's lap time. Am I deceiving me?
No, you're not. That was a 45.4. It was fastest lap of the race now as well.
The damage that car has got.
I know, it's ridiculous. apparently it's more aerodynamic, so it's going faster. He's going as fast as a Mercedes in a straight line now.
I tell you what, I need to do that to my car tomorrow night then at Suzuka.
That's
That's
it.
for sure.
I was about to say, we'll see there. We'll see everybody in the VRS World Championship do that as well. Oh, as Max Wright just loses it. It doesn't go into the wall, which usually happens when you lose it at the De La Roggia, but not this time.
Yeah, it did well to stay out the wall there. It is so easy to catch that wall, isn't it?
Oh.
Losing the car like that.
Look at this between Dima and Smith. That's very close. Kind of, they were side by side almost for a minute, but Dima trying to hold it. Smith going past.
Yeah, it's good racing from Max Wright's taking a tour back to the pits. He's got even more heavy damage, and I'll tell you what's happened there. He's got loose on the exit of Lesmo 2, and ended up just clipping the wall, lose control, and then spears across the track. Luckily, nobody else around him, and he's had to take a tour back to the pits as Richard Warmingham's around.
Well, we'll stay on. We were watching a replay of what happened to Max Wright there. We'll stay with that replay because I'm sure we're going to see Warmingham spin. And he just took way too much speed going into the parabolic. He just nipped Stevens there. But yeah, Ellis unfortunately wasn't. He wasn't. Well, fortunately, more to the point, wasn't unsettled too much and was able to carry on.
Warmingham decided to bring it to the pits. We are only about 10 minutes into this race, so 25 and a half minutes to go here. Long old time to take the car, but this battle for the lead, Luke Clark and Cullinan were almost side by side down the pit straight at the end of that lap, start this lap, and these two now, they're just breaking away a little bit from Kip Stevens. They're 1.3 seconds ahead of Kip at the time being.
Yeah, Kip's still trying to get that draft, and he had to avoid, of course, the spin in Warmingham on the last lap. So, looking at times,
Smith looking busy again. Looking to the inside of Ascari on O'Connor, and nicely done down the inside. Will he hold his line? Yes, he will.
yeah, straight through, clean as a whistle, really. Got the run, didn't he? Clearly alongside and past, sort of going into the braking zone. It's not always easiest to get the run out of Lesmo 2, but I tell you what, we've seen a lot of drivers manage to pull that off today.
Well, it's just long enough section that you can get the draft effect come into play there as well. So if you get the run and carry the speed down with this draft, then you can really make a move. Michael Gray, he stopped at the parabolic. Oh, almost. He's got out the car in time because he was facing the wrong way on the inside of the parabolic as the car was coming round. Yep, he went into the wall and just sat there and decided, you know what, I'm out of here, and he's now retired.
Had a few retirements, I think, today. And a few people not turning back up to the race. Oh, side by side. Clark got a much better run through the Curva Grande. It's going to have to go round the outside. Can't do it. Great on the brakes for Rafe. Thompson with a 1:45.2. It's getting faster.
Oh, John Watson's in the barriers there at the De La Roggia. He lost control under braking going into De La Roggia. Oh, and he got collected by the Ferrari, the sole Ferrari on track here. That's Colin Robinson. And yeah, Josh Thompson, well, that's his thank you very much. I'm to ninth now.
There's a lot went on with that Watson incident, actually.
Yeah.
So, not as straightforward as it looked, but yeah, coming in is where he lost it. I don't know if he actually got any contact from behind, but yeah, in the end, sort of ended up morphing through the wall and couldn't sort of get off of the wall.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that that's happened, but yeah, and he's even apologising in the in-game chat. So always good to see some people sort of apologising here as well. Battle for the lead on once again.
Yep, Rafe going very defensive over the white line. Worth doing if you want the inside, and we know how good he is on the brakes. Actually, he's able to almost go toe-to-toe with Thompson earlier on. Clark, oh, he's just about got his nose over And Ray finds himself in a position that Thompson was in the last race, trying to hold it around the outside and not get nerfed. Does it well.
Still, it's great to see this, and Clark with the inside line into the De La Roja. He should have this one sealed finally, but Rafe, he can try and get a good run out that corner, taking it into the Lesmos, but at the moment, is Clark now in the lead.
Yeah, it was good from Clark. I mean, I thought for a minute he was just got a little loose at the De La Roja, and was worried. We see so many people just get loose there, and of course they're into the barrier. What that's done though, that couple of corners where they were battling, it's allowed Stevens right back into the mix now.
Oh, Broughton Grant, Lesmo 2. I think we're going to see something familiar here. He's carried a little bit too much. Oh, he got a real tank slapper on there. The Broughton Grant, and around he goes. And he's still trying to get that car turned round right as Gafenko comes round.
Just watching it on the replay, it was like almost, and it just got worse and worse and worse and worse, didn't it?
Yeah, it's one of those death tank slappers there, and you know it's going to break away from you, and that's what's happening. In fact, he's taking a tour back to the pits for that one, so he's going to get a fast repair. So there is one fast repair available to everyone in today's race. We have lost 3 drivers though who've actually retired. John Watson, the latest one, Richard Warmingham, and Michael Gray we saw retired a couple laps earlier.
Dropping like flies. Who was that as well? I think it was Jim Flanagan. Yeah, just kind of across the inside there. It's an interesting one, and I think Flanagan's probably not done that too many times, because you can almost serve that penalty without having to slow down.
Yeah, you could, because you get naturally slower out of that chicane, because you had to cut across the chicane there, you can just get on the power, and you're not carrying as much speed around Curva Grande, and by the time you've got to the next chicane, you've pretty much served that penalty. So a little bit of inexperience, and you see, that's what practice is for, isn't it, Alex? You find out how bad the slowdown penalties are.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. You've got to do that. So I remember I know Andrew was talking about one of the 4 races that he did in the last year was at Le Mans, and we had a bit of wing damage on our car that was affecting us by about, I don't know, 10, 15k, something like that. Oh! Well, actually, that worked out quite nicely for Rafe. That was like, go! Just getting into the back, and yeah, it's a great line off of that.
Got a bit bashed in though, so he's going to be affected a little bit with his top speed. And here comes Anwar Smith now, down the inside of Stevens. It's up into 3rd place. I tell you what, I'm going to call it, potentially, Anwar Smith for the victory here, because he's come through this field, and he's right up there with your leaders now. Yeah,
very quick. He was quick in the first race as well, and in qualifying there was 3 drivers who really sort of stood out and were about 7 or 8 tenths quicker than everybody else. Smith was one of those, Thompson another, and Richard Gafenko was the final of the 3. So yeah, very, very quick. So
I've just looked down at Thompson's lap times again. 45.0 now from Josh Thompson. He's getting the aid of a slipstream. It does help, but yeah, that is rather rapid when you consider Luke Clark, your race leader, is a 46.7. 46.8 from Rafe Cullen, and of course had that little bit of a moment through Ascari. Anwar Smith, 46.6, so 1.6 seconds slower than Josh Thompson's last lap time. He's not out of this one. He's only 6.5 seconds behind the leader, is Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. So fantastic performance. Like I say, he's found the key to unlocking the performance in this BMW. We'll see this in the upcoming weeks. Might bin the BMW and lose the bonnet, and then go. You're all in good shape.
Obviously keeping the engine cooler. That's what it is. As he moves up another position now.
He just drove straight past that car that had slipstream. What's this about? This is madness. It is literally going faster. I have a top speed graphic I need to see. What is he doing? Top speed, Thompson. Well, no. Okay, so he's not any quicker. But 266 kilometers an hour is his top speed so far. So 272 for O'Connor. So he's still 6Ks down. So but yeah, able to get the moves done.
Speaking of getting moves done, here comes third place. Anwar Smith. Oh, he's looking to the inside. Rafe didn't really commit to one side or the other there, and Anwar says, well, thank you very much, I'll go to the inside. Oh, a little bit of squeezing between the two of them.
It's not through yet.
No.
That's the thing. Oh, it will be now, though.
Yeah, not the best exit there from Rafe, was it?
No, not at all. I wanted to come back to my point where we're talking about practice and things like that, and what happened between Le Mans with Andrew in his race. So, yeah, we had that wing damage, and we found out that we literally could cut the chicanes, like all of the chicanes at on the Mulsanne straight. Not like ridiculously, you know, but to where you got the slowdown pen.
Sneak a little bit, yeah.
Exactly. So we gained about 1 second probably there on every straight, but then of course we lost it. So although the time what we were losing because we had wing damage, it was actually serving our penalty, but we were kind of gaining it back for like to sneak across the corner. So yes.
Josh Thompson. Oh, it's our favourite spot, Lesmo too.
Oh no. Oh well. It looked good, but now it's done.
Oh, and he's another one. He got the death wiggle. Around he goes.
I've seen him save one of those. He did that in the World GT, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, but not this time. Bang! That's what you get when you flirt with that outside curb sometimes, you know?
Yeah. Get dip wheels into the gravel, and then that's it. But yeah, bang, and the BMW is gone. That's for sure. But down the straight here, Anwar Smith looking forward. He's got a chance here of a lead. It's Jim Flanagan, the first of your cars onto pit road, you would think, from a scheduled pit stop.
Smith has a sneaky little look, but nothing going there.
Thompson's decided to retire. We're now down 5 drivers. We've only got 13 drivers left on the track here. I tell you what, if you do have an incident, get your fast repair if you've not used it in your pit stop, and you get yourself a good result here today.
Yeah, you could do quite easy. A nice top 10 up for grabs possibly by the end of this one. Flanagan, not quite sure what's going on with Flanagan's pit stop. It's playing havoc with our overlay, that's for sure. He's away, 50.22 seconds.
Yeah, it's he's on his own now. He's in some clean air. Just get his head down, get some laps in, and see how it goes. Oh, battle for the lead. Smith down the inside into a Ascari. He's not going to do it though quite yet. It's the side by side. Can they hold it there? Yes, they can. Good driving, good cooperation between the two drivers there. Clark and Smith, take your hat off to them, but it's not over here. It's to go down towards the Parabolica. It's
a good job the Muck doesn't mind the odd curb or sausage curb, does it? Because Smith really got run up over the high one coming off of Ascari, and actually the car just reacted lovely to it. So try and do that in say like the Audi, and it might have been a bit different.
Cullinan's onto the pit road, so he's getting his mandatory pit stop in the car now.
Clark going to the outside. Robinson also in.
So yeah, we're past the halfway point now. We've got 13 minutes remaining in this race, so everybody's starting to get their scheduled pit stops in. Scott Malcolm coming into pit road as well for his pit stop. But that first chicane, the Rettifilio, Luke Clark didn't have the best run out that corner. It just allowed Anwar Smith to pull away just slightly. But he's still able to stay in that slipstream, so we'll see how he gets on keeping that slipstream. Of course, these guys have been pretty much in slipstream all race, so it won't really affect the strategy too much between the two of them.
Bring up the little map just to see how this pans out, but just for those that haven't seen the graphic as well, the pit graphic, so you understand it. So got a couple of times showing up, so we've got total pit lane time, and then in the brackets is the stationary time as well, so you can compare what the drivers do out there. But that's a fantastic lap from Smith. Paul. Yeah, and pulled away 1.5 seconds this lap as well, which is exactly what he needs. So, kind of, a good 2 or 3 seconds kind of opens up the strategies for him as well. He doesn't have to worry about potentially being jumped or anything like that. So,
Yeah, Clark has just been sliding about a little bit.
and he's in.
And Smith's in, so we're getting that pit stop in early now. It's a question of how long others will go in this one. Ideally, though, you do want to stay out as long as possible, don't you, to try and get the car as light as possible. Use the get the pace from that. But if you feel confident, you feel you've got the pace, why not take that pit stop now, get it out of the way, and then it gives you that last 11.5 minutes to have a run at the race victory.
A lot of cars down pit lane right now as well. Smith coming out. 12 seconds stationary for him. Stevens was 14, so a little bit longer. Total time for Smith 42 seconds, 44 for 44.8 for Ellis.
Still on pit road.
Oh, this is
Not moved.
48
It's half a
seconds.
minute. Yeah, half a minute. Still not. It's almost as if the brim in the tank. It's almost like they've forgotten to change the settings to change the fuel. And in fact, they're jumping out the car. It looks like, is it?
Yeah.
Oh no, they're checking time. Yeah.
They're
out. They're out.
Yeah, 104. 104.08.
They've retired. Lane O'Connor's out.
Oh, I'm gone. Yeah. Oh well.
That's another one we've lost from the race here.
Yeah.
Tell you what, Max Wright, a lap down, he's looking at a 12th place finish here.
And that's why you carry on going.
Yeah. Colin Robertson, John Flanagan, look at this battle. Side by side out of the Ritterfilia, out to the De La Rocha, sorry. Into Lesmo 1, Colin having to just fall in behind.
Leaders in.
And yep, leader in.
Let's see what we're looking at. We're looking at 42 seconds 42 seconds total lane time. If he's going to stay out in front. See that on the left. He's not reached his pit box yet. While we're watching this battle between Flanagan and Robinson. See also on the mini map what's going on. Lee Deemer away. So Clark obviously sat there in second. Fenku's into the pits as well because he's greyed out. But here comes Smith. Smith, I think, is going to get him.
Yeah. Yeah, Clark's just still on the limit of that. He's
on
now out.
Yeah, 45 seconds. So a long one for him. This little battle settled down as well.
So Gafenku, pretty short pit stop for him. Of course, having to do a recovery drive. He's already been down pit lane once before today to get that fast repair done after that opening lap incident. But, he's now come out in 8th place. Not that far behind that battle between Colin and Jim, actually. So he could get a couple of positions there. 17.8 seconds behind your leader. I think it's too far, is that, for 8.5 minutes running this race?
Yeah, considering this race is a bit longer, it's flown by as well. We're really into the closing stages now already. But yeah, so Flanagan and Robson still battling at it. You're right. I think Richard could probably get those. Rafe's another 9 seconds up the road, and I think that's going to be out of the question as well. Even though his times have been good. Fastest lap was a 1:45.17, so not that far behind what Thompson did with his 45.0. So got some potentials. Dima's in. Oh, we're spinner in the background. Who is that? That is
Richard Gafenku.
Oh well, there you go.
Cursing commentator. And
that's it.
It's our favourite corner, Lesmo 2. He's carried too much speed into that corner that time. It's not the death wiggle. He's just carried too much speed to that corner and around it.
Dima still in the pits. Gonna give up the lead. He wasn't really in the fight. And Smith, wow, he's well clear. Dima, where's he going to come out?
Behind Stevens and Cullen.
Just good. Yeah. It's going to be close between him and Cullen. He's not quite got it up to speed. Rafe is. And comes across a little bit as well. That's good. So 5th place for Lee. up 6 spots in total for the race. So good job when he's right on the tail of Rafe.
Tell you what, if I was Rafe, I'd be a little bit disappointed with how this race has gone. Started second place, he's been showing some good pace earlier on, and showed good pace early on in the second race as well. It's almost as if it gets to about a quarter of an hour into a race, or that sort of around that figure, and the pace of that car is dropping off. Maybe it's driving style, or perhaps a setup on the car not quite to his liking around here, and it just seems to have dropped off pace consistently in each race.
Yeah, I mean, he had a slow pit stop as well, so one of the slowest ones we've seen from the leaders, so that set him back a little bit. But yeah, you're right, just doesn't seem to be able to sort of maintain it. And racing's a little bit more comfortable following somebody as well, you know, than he does sort of leading. And when he's not tucked up behind someone, so it just seems to, that times just seem to drop off a little bit more. Straight through, straight through. So, and that's I would say that's an unusual place to see a Merc go past the BMW, because that's really their strengths going into those sort of high-speed corners. He's got fantastic drive out of it, nonetheless, as Rafe, and he's going to try and go back through. He has got the advantage just on the momentum. It kind of gets him into place, doesn't it? That's what the BMW does. You've got to be really committed on the brakes, though, through there, and actually very committed. And Dima had a little moment going in as well, which sort of upset the balance of the car, and that sort of allowed Rafe to complete the move.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's not so much a Monza. I know you'll probably agree with me here. It's all about how you exit the corners, not so much how you go into the corner. It's your exit out the corners, because you're carrying that speed all the way down the straights. And the way that Rafe set that up into parabolic, maybe not quick into it, but certainly quicker out of it. Used the slipstream as well, and that's what got him into that position. Didn't gift him the position, but it got him into the position to make that new step.
You can see coming out. We're just looking back from sort of the right rear. You can physically see just gets on the power that little bit earlier, and that's what sort of extends the gap initially coming out of the corner. That's where well, we were on a perfect shot to see that come in, that was for sure. And well, it was a good recovery from Rafe, but he won't be happy with that at all.
I think well, he's carrying it. I mean, we saw the pace that Josh Thompson had with a ruined car, so hopefully Rafe will be able to carry on and get this one to the end. There's only 4 minutes remaining, so you might as well just limp this one to the end there. But yeah, that's a bit of an unusual one. He maybe just went a little bit slower in there, compromised. I don't know, actually. He's just maybe just that little bit slower than he normally is through there, and Lee just got into the back of him, and around he goes, because the car, it's so easy to turn the car like that, because the car it's put all of its weight on the right hand side there, and just the slightest of touch is just easy to send it round.
Exactly. It's just like when you take in a little bit too much speed. I'm hearing something else. What's that? That is Flanagan and Robson. They just had a little coming together as well.
They were close going into the Retifilio. In fact, yes, Cullinan got into the back of Colin got into the back of Jim into the Retifilio.
I feel like he perhaps missed his braking point there, did Colin? That's that's not a bump and run, is it? That's my smash and grab. I like you.
Yes, it is. I tell you what, Jim won't be happy with that, though. He'll be a little bit upset with the Scotsman, Team Mad driver, and he'll be trying to get back at Colin there for that one. Maybe won't show quite so much respect with any moves back on Colin here.
Yeah, let's see. Shapes it up. Oh, so different. The lines through Ascari there. Flanagan just running a little wide on the exit. There's only 2 minutes 20 seconds left of this race to go, so a lap and a bit. Where is our leader? He is just coming into, so we might get to, yeah,
Get
this
2
lap and
laps.
this lap and another. Really, the only battle out there at the moment is between Flanagan and Robson. Flanagan having some connection issues as well.
It's been like that all evening, hasn't it? Well, he's got the slipstream down into the inside. Will they make this move stick? Colin, I tell you what, it's so much later than Jim on the brakes there. But I think that was rather maybe Colin giving the position back after what happened the last lap.
Yeah, quite possibly. Well, no need to let him back through now. Race is on. See the damage on the back of the Mac where it got absolutely clobbered.
Never mind the back of the Merc. Look at the front of the Ferrari as well. That's got a chunk eaten out of the front splitter there. So definitely, both cars compromised from that hit. In fact, Richard Gafenko is catching back up to them after his little excursion at the second Lesmo. Oh, Jim, bouncing about all over this connection. Just certainly not
Anymore.
helping.
Not anymore. You've just cursed him again.
Oh no!
Gafenko. So literally, yeah, I think he's had enough now as well. So
Yeah, he's running a little bit too. He carried way too much speed.
I
the
did.
First Lesmo there, and he might as well get it to the end here though. Kip Stevens is in the pits.
well, I thought I saw Kip have a moment. Let's have a look. See, there he is. He went off track.
Oh, it was a
I think it's
Scary.
Scary, yeah. What did he do? Did he hit the
He's
curb?
climbing the curb.
Yeah, hit the high curb. Yeah, you can't do that there. That is what it will do. And the Martini Mercedes, yeah, is buried into the tyre wall.
Well, his leader's on to the final lap now. Clock's ticking down towards 0. So yeah, Anwar Smith, really good race from Anwar. It has to be said. He started right at the back, pretty much 17th, to move through the field like he did. Did some good moves earlier on in the race, and once he got into that lead, he just felt that he looked comfortable up there with others falling by the wayside.
Yeah, he looked good in the first race as well. He had his opportunity to win that one. Yeah, it was unfortunate in the second, and I think he'd have had a strong showing in that one as well. But yeah, he's got a victory, and I think he deserved a victory today. I say that, I don't want to curse him too much.
We've got the Ascari chicane yet. So,
Too late now. I'm just praying that he's just like, Bosh, don't do it.
Oh,
He took a load of it as well.
I tell you what, that was showing up for the cameras there. That was. No, but thoroughly deserved. This has been a superb drive from him, and hats off. Yeah, he's kept it out of trouble. Others haven't been able to do that. Some more thought of names, perhaps not kept out of trouble, but great drive from him.
Yeah, three good had 3 good race wins today, really, I think. So yeah, Smith was involved in 2 of them. Great job. Luke Clark, good race from Clark, coming across in 2nd. Dima in 3rd.
We've still got this battle for 5th. It's going to the end, but I think Jim should maybe just have the edge over Colin Robinson there.
Yeah, that Ferrari just takes too long to wind up, doesn't it? Kip posting, he took too much sausage. Yeah. Can't beat a good sausage, that's what I say. Carl Hardy coming across in 7th. Scott Malcolm gets a good 8th, up 8 places. Anthony Jacobson going to be 9th. He's quite a way back though. Have to wait a while.
I'll tell you,
and Max
even further whack is Max Wright. He actually came into the pits at the start of that last lap, and because he'd gone past the timing line, he's now got to finish this last lap.
Let's see if he crawls to a halt again.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be a while, that's for sure.
Yeah. Round Lismo 2.
Oh, please don't, Max.
I can't actually bring up the results until he crosses the line as well. That's the frustrating thing.
Come on, give us a good show through this Ascari chicane. Let's see what the Audi can do.
Yeah, sideways. Tokyo Drift style, come on.
Yeah, set the traction control off. Let's have it. I thought it was as well then for a second, but now he hit that curb. But yeah, heading down towards the Parabolica as celebrations are going on with Lee Deaver ahead of him.
Yeah. Move, I've not finished.
I don't think Lee realises that Max is still finishing this race here.
Push him out the way.
Here he comes then. He's not going to take it easy. He's going to go full chat across the line. So,
Final time for them.
So that's it. That's everyone finished.
By the way, this results screen is going to take you a long time.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a fun one, Alex. If we're ready for the results.
We are indeed.
All right, okay. So let's take you through then. So starting 17th on the back row of the grid for this one, taking the race win, Anwar Smith. Fantastic result from him. Great drive, did everything right in that one. Luke Clark. Good result for him in second place, starting from 5th. Lee Deaver, 11th to 3rd, so he had to come through the field a little bit in that one. A good podium for him there. Rafe Cullingham, again, just didn't quite have the pace of a couple of the others. They're finishing in 4th. Jim Flanagan, we saw battling with Colin Robinson. They finished 5th and 6th, respectively. 7th place, Carl Hardy. We didn't really mention him that much in that race, but started 14th. Got half of those positions back up to 7th place. Scott Malcolm, 16th to 8th. Good result for Team Mad driver there. Anthony Jacobson, 9th. With Max Wright rounding out your finishers in this race in 10th place. And then look at the sort of who's who of the Wreckers League here. This has to be said because Kip Stevens, we saw him lose control, took the sausage curb, bounced it over into the wall in 11th place. Richard Kafenko would be talking of his chances of gaining a couple of positions. Lost control a couple of times for his first time in the first lap, and then the last lap that he ran there. Lane O'Connor, he went out the race earlier on 7 laps down. Josh Thompson, 10 laps down. We saw him opening lap of the race as well in the Ascari chicane, Carrington speed. Finishes down in 14th. The 2 drivers 13 laps down, Adam Broughton Grant and John Watson. Then rounding out your results there, Michael Gray and Richard Warmingham, 15 laps down each, 16th and 18th.
Very much, Paul. We've got one driver ready for an interview. Might as well bring him in. Mr. Thompson. Well, last race wasn't entirely what you were planning, but still a good first and second race for you, mate.
Yeah, I think I probably could have had a chance to win the third one even with the comeback drive, to be honest, the pace I had.
It was looking good, banging in some really strong laps. And
to be honest, I didn't know we had to make another pit stop. I didn't know. So obviously I was like there trying to save fuel in the draft and everything. And I didn't know because I've never done the series before. I jumped in last second. Obviously I got invited ages back. So
yeah.
I didn't know, so I was saving fuel in the draft. I was like, oh, and then realised when I left the session there's a fast repair as well. I was like, oh my god. So I could have done the pit stop, fast repair and gone.
Nothing like a bit of preparation, eh, Josh?
Exactly. I just thought I'd give it a go for the boys did well the weekend, so I thought I'd give it a go.
But still, fantastic couple of races. The first race, you had a great battle with Smith in the first one, round the outside of Lesmo 2. Bet that was quite. I bet that was quite satisfying.
Scary because he shoved me onto the gravel in Lesmo 1, which unsettled the car. And I knew from watching the VRS at the weekend, someone hit the runoff, and it bounced and flung him into the wall. Lucky enough, the BMW doesn't bottom out as much, I thought, so it was quite lucky with that. But then managed to use momentum of the car.
And then the second race, you had good battle with Richard, of course, who you sort of fought through in the first one, but couldn't quite get to you in that first one. And yeah, we were shaping up for what was going to be an epic final lap, and then just pushed it a little bit too wide, did he?
Yeah, I knew, to be honest, the Merc was definitely the faster car. I was having to try so hard just to get within a 10 for 2. So I knew it was always going to be hard. I definitely outbraked myself. Again, lack of preparation. I just completely missed the braking point for the second chicane. lucky enough I didn't go across, otherwise I'd have got to slow down. And I knew if I dropped out the toe, I wouldn't have a chance of catching back up, as I found out in the warm-up when I was behind Anwar. As soon as he broke the toe, I couldn't keep up. So, yeah, but I knew he made a mistake the lap before in the last corner, like what Paul said on the stream. He made the mistake. I was like, okay, he's going to do it again. So pushed him down the straight, and I knew he'd go wide, and lucky enough he fell for it and went wide and hit the curve. I was like, off you go.
Well, congrats, mate, on the first couple of races. And
Cheers.
yeah, are you gonna jump in next week? Are you gonna come back?
I would, but I will, but I'm not here next week. I'm at British Champ. So I'm racing from Cranfield on Thursday for BSRTC, so that should be interesting.
Oh, that'd be good. Well,
I don't think they simulate flying Kias though. So
yeah, no.
should be a bit interesting.
Yeah, because you're in a single-seater tub, aren't you?
Yeah, motion race, so it should be a bit painful.
That'd be different.
I'll make sure I bash you up a few times.
Well, this is exactly what I was about to say. I'll make sure if I'm side by side or behind, you get a little love tap here or there. So shake you
I
up.
was thinking of doing that one. I might get involved on that.
Oh no. Oh dear.
Wait till the slow down lap at the end. Pow.
I'm gonna pull off like pit lane straight away. I can't escape from the car either. I'm gonna have to get someone who's sat in the room behind me, pressing the escape button.
Does it have an ejector seat?
Probably. I'll find out.
That's how they simulate the Kia flying.
Exactly.
All right, we've got no one else coming for an interview, so yeah. So just give us a quick shout out, mate, and then we'll wrap up the show. And then for anybody in the future, I don't know if there's been an invite sent out on the group chat for our Discord, but we'll have to make sure that's there. People coming for a chat, but yeah, give us a quick shout out, mate.
Well, obviously, to be honest, no one even from Radicals even knew I was doing this. I did this on my own. So I'd probably say big thank you to Wyatt and Zach for letting me use their pro setup from the weekend. Just trimmed it out a little bit and made it good for me. So massive thanks to those, giving me the setup like 20 minutes before the race started. So a huge shout out to those. The organisers. This league actually is really a lot of fun, especially with like the weird reverse. I didn't expect to get the front row. So, but yeah, I can't thank any of you guys as well for the awesome broadcast, especially you in race one doing it on your own.
All right, thank you.
Thank you guys.
All right, mate. Well, have a good enjoy the rest of your Sundays. We're almost done, but yeah, we'll catch you, I'm sure, next week on a few different races.
Yeah, I'll catch you on Monday.
Cheers, mate. Right. Well, Mr. Smith, thank you very much for joining me in this one. Weary Mr. Woodhouse pops in. You can say hello to him as well on air.
I'm gonna say it's all right. You know, I saw you doing it on your own, and like I say, I've been in that position in the past, so I thought, why not? I'll stick my head in and sort of help out here. Why not?
Well, that was how you started commentating.
Yes.
Really, was because you saved my ass
Yes.
from the same thing. So I do appreciate that.
Well, 3 good races tonight, guys. Really enjoyed that as well. It's the first time I've sort of watched the Grand Tour event the whole way through. So, and yeah, one I'll probably catch for the rest of the season. But yeah, thank you very for joining me. I'm going to say good night from all of us. And yeah, we'll catch you tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. We've got the World GT. And then Tuesday morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, we've got the return of the Rick Sports Car Series. So we'll see you guys then. But from myself, from Paul and Andrew, it's good night.